What Grinnell told me what was it, House of Enter or something like that?
House of No Return.
House of No Return.
I just somehow during this Stanley Cup run when we ended up going to the Western Conference Finals, and I met this like couple that they were just wild. This guy had sold a company. I think he was worth like $100 million, and you know when you've seen it all, you're very desensitized to a lot of things, as I've kind of am now, at least to a certain degree.
Sure.
This guy, just anything to get his fix. There, you'd show up to his house, there'd be like 10 naked chicks, and it was just a fuck fest, and it was like what?
It's funny because
like, I'd be doing a smorgasbord of there'd be four different ethnicities. It was like a potluck. Is that what you call them, a potluck? Or what do you call it when everyone brings something?
Yeah, potluck.
Oh, it's called a potluck. Okay. Yeah. I was giving him tickets to come to games, and it was just wild times.
And wait, he had a place called the House of No, or you jokingly called it that? Or it was actually called the House of No Return?
So the reason we call it the House of No Return, so Scottsdale's pretty spread out.
Yeah.
So where we were in Old Town from the action, you had to go to Shea Boulevard, which was about a 15-minute drive, and he lived like all the way up Shea Boulevard. So if you wanted to try to call a cab by the time all these festivities were over,
there's no return.
You probably, it's like, are we going?
Yeah.
All right, we're not coming back. Yeah. If you're coming, you're coming. And I'll never, I'd obviously, a few of the teammates had heard about it, the single guys, and and they found their way up there a couple times. And like, in the morning, you're just in the parking lot, and you're just like, that was everything as described.
Oh man, bringing somebody that for the first time is got to be awesome.
And then you got a couple like, I'm never coming back.
Yeah, right. See you
next after the next round, buddy. See you after we close out Nashville, you idiot.
Is there anybody? Are you always the guy? Were you always the guy finding those places? Have you ever met like another guy in the league where you're like to them, you're like, holy shit, that guy goes hard?
I think.
Or are you like the top?
Okay, so so let's go
without
back.
naming names or whatever.
So let's go back. I think that has a lot to do with my personality.
Yeah.
Like my father was a social butterfly. Mm-hmm. He'd be the guy where he would be coming to Arizona Coyotes games and meeting people in the urinal.
Okay.
Hey, what's up? Bissonnette here. Like it's like, Dad, the guy's taking a fucking leak.
His hand's on his dick.
So
right now.
and the next game, he'd be like, hey, do you mind if I get 6 tickets at Wilco? And I'm like, fucking 6 tickets? I'm like, it's you and Mom. He's like, yeah, I met a couple guys. Yeah. So even one point while they were staying with me, that was a regret. I had them stay with me in a full month when they came down to Scottsdale one time. And, during the season, you're trying to get your rest and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
I come out after a nap in the afternoon, and there's 2 strangers in my living room. And my dad's just, hey, you want a drink? And I call my dad over, and I'm like, Dad, who the fuck are these people in my living room? And he's like, oh, I met him at the pool. I thought they were. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? It's a 2-bedroom apartment, Dad. Like, I want some fucking peace and quiet. So that was just.
Man. For a month, Jesus. Should have the cameras rolling for that.
But that rubbed off of me, and throughout my whole, and you talk about asking questions and learning throughout life. I just met people by being social, and you learn things, and it's brought me places, and it's taught me things, and going back. Oh Christ, jeez, I lost my train of thought because I'm talking too much.
No, I was saying, were there any? I said, are there any other guys in the league who are like you? And you said,
sorry. Hey, so thank you for bringing me back on track. So when I first got to Arizona, I went to the W Hotel. We were gonna go party, have a good night out, and we get there, and I'm like, hey, we play with the Coyotes, and the guy's like, yeah, that's cool.
Don't give a fuck. Yeah.
And I was like, how come nobody has set up a situation here where we're able to like move and shake and bounce around?
Yeah.
So what I started doing is I started meeting all the doormen, meeting all the people in the place. Come to a Coyotes game, bring friends. Like this is a fun experience. Hockey's a great game. I feel like there's not enough people. So throughout the course of my time in Arizona, I mean, by year 3, like there wasn't a place we couldn't go where we were, 8 guys, we need a table, we're doing this, we're doing that.
Right.
And yeah, that's just kind of what opened up our eyes and at least all my friends with the Coyotes to this whole different world that was different than Welland, Ontario.
I'm sure.
That was different from, when I went to the OHL, then different than when I was playing in the AHL.
Probably different from a lot of even...
From wearing white socks with my dress shoes, It's just like you learn as you go.
I'm sure, yeah.
That kind of helped with being a social butterfly, definitely opened up a lot of doors.
Even places in the NHL, though, I mean, I'm sure you're playing in, like, the Rangers, the big cities, but some of these, like, a lot of these smaller franchises, if you don't have someone like yourself to like lay the groundwork, you're probably not, going to be the most famous guys in town or well known.
Which was
fine.
It was just I knew that we had a younger group of guys on that team, and I also was like, hey, let's these guys are going to want to do some fun things. But yeah, no, it was some fucking wild times in Scottsdale, I tell you.